Good morning, boys and girls. Good morning and welcome back. Ones in the chat, please, if you can hear and see me good. Testing the hotel Wi-Fi. Making sure we're all live, loud and clear. Good morning. Bank holiday, yeah. No, the markets are open. As long as the markets are open, I still trade. There's no, bank holidays, all this stuff. That stuff carried over from ICT. ICT, every bloody day is a no trading day with ICT. But yeah, still a good trading day today. I've caught two good setups today so far. So yeah, man, good day. Good day. As long as the markets are open, we are good to go, my friend. A couple of the setups from today. First one was a pure previous day value high. It was a C rank trade at the time. Let's make sure you can see on the screen. There we go. So the first trade I took today was not too long ago. 2:50 a.m. And that looked like this. So at the time of that trade, let me just get this profile. The time of that first trade there was profile looked like this. So there was no confluence to the downside other than the previous day's value high. So it was a C rank trade, but no drawdown. It was really nice. So C rank trades are still good trades in context, right? There's just less reason for something to happen there, but being the first tap since the previous day was a good setup. So no drawdown. First tap and take profit target was the edge of this high volume node here, which had developed and broken through. So price came down, tap previous day value high. I got long, bought there, sold at the edge of the high volume node. So super simple C rank trade. Did not take that trade the second time down because price had failed off point of control, was moving down, breaking through levels. So I didn't want to try and play that level over and over again. But the first tap was valid and a good trade. So that was the first one. Second trade here was a reinforced level. So watch what happens with the profile here as price trades below previous day's value high. We go down past previous day's value high. And now what you have here is you see we have, hopefully you can see this on the screen. We have a high volume node developed right across the previous day's value area high. So you can see here on the profile, hopefully it's clear enough on the tiny laptop screen that I'm showing here on the stream, but you have your high volume node developed right across, right adjacent to that previous day's value high. And when you have that, you're looking for price to come back up. Okay, looking for price to come back up and retest that from the other side. So that's one of my favorite trade setups called a reinforced level break and retest. I waited for it to trade into closer to the previous day's value high value level, but just using that high volume node as confirmation for that being a good level to hold for resistance. My first trade took a little while on this one and hit here just around 7:37 a.m. and then, second trade, and then obviously it came back up just before the stream here, 8:13 a.m. Exact same trade setup, super clean reaction, a bit bigger the second time around. And the reason why that second trade is good still is because that confluence is still there. So if you pull it across, that's now an even bigger high volume node. In fact, it's current session point of control and your previous day value level there. So a couple of stacked confluences on that on this general area. We got coming into the open now. We'll be looking at the overnight value levels. This could be again another valid trade potentially. Looking at price coming up to that same area, edge of the high volume node. You got point of control. And the previous day's value area high all across the same point. So very valid area. I may actually take this setup again, but I want to take it up closer towards the previous day's value high. That is point of control right here, 844. but I would see if it peaks above a bit, and yeah, potentially look at the same play, even pre-market open. I'm okay with that. It's a pretty decent area, good confluences. So potentially looking at that. Random channel, yes. Course is a one-time payment, yes. Would POC shifting make this area invalid now? Negative, as long as price holds on the underside of POC. Still a very valid trade setup. In fact, if anything, it supports the trade idea because POC has shifted down. So POC was higher to begin with, but POC has shifted down, indicating a shift in fair value to the downside, which generally is a bearish sign. And then if price fails to break above that POC, it is a continuation of that bearish hint. And people partying out here. There you go. Yeah, I didn't quite come up to where I wanted to get that next trade set up, but it's melting again from the same level. High volume node, previous day's value high, melting down. Very nice. Very, very nice. Yes, random channel. The volume profile course is just in the link pinned in the chat. So link pinned in the chat, learnvolumeprofile.com. Diego, if your previous day's value high is higher, make sure your profile from the previous day is drawn from 9:30 a.m. through to 3:59 p.m. and on the 1 minute. Do I trade the 1 minute? Yes. Yes. What do I look for on the time and sales? On the time and sales, I'm looking at I don't use it to make trading decisions like entry. This is not part of my confluence for entering a trade. But what I do like to look at is I like to look at when I'm in a trade, I like to see how price is reacting to, or how orders are reacting to specific levels. So say if I'm in a long trade, right? Say if I'm in a long trade from previous day value high, price taps this area and pushes up. And then say if there's a high volume node sitting up here, and if I'm still in that long trade and I'm feeling like holding through that node, like if I have a running contract on, I've taken profit on majority of the contracts here. If I have a runner on the table still going, then I'll be watching the time and sales to see if there's still momentum, see if there's a lot of green coming through as we approach this resistance level. And if there's a lot of green hitting the tape still, then I can be more confident in holding that. But if a bunch of red starts to show up and a lot of red starts to hit the tape at this resistance level, then perhaps I should close that runner trade off, or at least make sure my stop's at break even or better, because we're likely to get a reaction from that point. So I more use it to gauge reactions at levels and determine if I should exit a trade that I'm holding versus using it to determine my entries. If I tried low volume node setups, I haven't used the low volume node setups. I use what I think people talk about when they're mentioning low volume nodes, because low volume nodes don't make sense for areas of support and resistance. So I think what people are looking at when they mention low volume nodes are talking about the edge of high volume nodes, which is a similar thing. It's where that volume sort of drops off, but it's the edge of where it begins. So you got that drop off in between, but the edge of the high volume nodes, because a low volume node is an area where price should theoretically move through quickly and break through quickly because, well, there's not a lot of competition at those areas. So one side of the market can more easily push through a low volume area versus a high volume area. A high volume area is going to naturally slow down price. So I don't use low volume nodes for support and resistance, but I know people do mention them in a similar fashion. I believe we're talking about the same thing when we talk about LVNs and HVNs. We're talking about the edge of the high volume nodes, but not necessarily the actual low volume area itself. Do I trade NQ? I don't trade NQ anymore. I switch between them. This year's been ES. Last year was NQ, but this year's been ES. See, watching this area. Sorry, 1 second, guys. 1 second. There we go. There we go. Yeah, so same thing for today, guys, versus yesterday for the trade setups. Coming into the open, I'll be mainly playing what's the most potent levels is the most potent levels are the overnight value levels. So this profile here that's currently developing. Once we come over to the New York Open at 9:30, this is the whatever these levels are that get put in are going to be where I'm watching for my setup. In terms of bias, again, we got that point of control shifting down. But so yeah, slightly bearish. We came off the previous week's value high, failed off that area, came down. Previous day value high failed, dropped down. So potentially a bearish play. We'll see how we go right in the open. But if this remains overnight point of control, if that remains overnight point of control, man, what do you? A lot of you guys are flipping shit in the chat about the levels. Let me have a look. 9:30 to 4 p.m. 9:30. Guys, make sure with the previous day value levels, make sure you draw them 9:30 a.m. through to 3:59 p.m. 9:30 to 3:59. And make sure you draw that on the 1 minute chart. And then place the levels down from there. So previous day value high sitting at 845. Previous day point of control 831.50. Previous day value low 796. CD trades, not tick data, just draw it to 3:59, not to 4 p.m. And then, yep, there we go. Why did I shift to ES? Good question on the ES, Johnny. It's just a preference thing. I don't really mind trading NASDAQ or ES. This year I switched to ES for a particular reason. The Trump markets were going crazy. Obviously, in the beginning of the year, it was really good for opportunity, trading opportunity and volatility, but it was really like violent wicks violent wicks. The order flow was tough to read. It was just going a bit too wild. So I made a temporary switch to ES. I was initially an ES trader anyway, but I switched back to ES for a bit more of a calmer market. Still hasn't been that calm, but a lot more smooth than NASDAQ, right? And less wick outs, less stop outs for my tight stops that I've been using for the last couple of years. So just a little personal preference, but if you're going to trade NASDAQ, I have no problem trading NASDAQ personally. If you trade NASDAQ, ES, with volume profile, all works the same. Just with NASDAQ, you got to keep in mind the tendencies with the product. And NASDAQ, you're going to need a much wider stop, obviously, and be open to accepting that risk with those random wick outs. I'll probably get back into NASDAQ at some point, but this year I said, you know what, I'm going to go ES all year. I'm doing gold a little bit as well. Gold and ES, but mainly the ES. But yeah, we'll switch it up in 2026. We might go back to NASDAQ come January. Which, by the way, I'll start trading again around January 7th next year. It was where I picked back up after that Christmas break. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Good morning. The NASDAQ, yep. NASDAQ is always the best. The best way to describe the NASDAQ, the NASDAQ classic. I have not looked at a NASDAQ chart in a long time. Yeah, happy Veterans Day, guys, over in US of A. Happy Veterans Day. Again, the markets aren't closed today, so still opportunities to be made, but I understand a lot of people don't trade days like this. Let me just get this mic feels like it's in the wrong position. There we are. Yeah, I understand a lot of people don't trade these days, but as long as the markets are open, there's ample opportunity. Am I in a trade? No, AP. You'll see if I'm in a trade. You'll see the trade on the side, on the DOM here. So all positions visible on the DOM just above my face cam. No trade yet. I will be looking to, if we can poke back up into that area, maybe I'll look at another trade. It's a good area 1, 2, 3, 4 times. But other than that, I'll be waiting for the open, trade the overnight value levels, and hopefully get a nice quick one and done again, just like yesterday. Yesterday was so clean. So clean. "20 years, Louis. Nice, man. Louis, I still have... Louis, that reminds me. I got to look. I'm going to search your email again after this. When is my last week of trading? Also, Louis, shout out to you, sir. 20 years, damn. My last week of trading this year, Marlboro, will be probably end on the week of the 15th of December. It's another month. Martin, yes, my take on a live versus sim markets and how the fills are affected. To be honest, Martin, people always say, oh, you know, if you read Twitter, people say live fills are much harder than trading sim. And people say, you know, you'll never understand real trading unless you trade live versus sim. Honestly, I barely notice a difference. I trade, obviously, my own money primarily. So I'm trading a live account. I've also got live accounts with TPT. And I don't notice much difference. Obviously, you have to actually get your order filled at each individual level, you know. So if you got 5 contracts on at 850, you need to actually get filled 5 contracts at 850. It's not going to fill, you know, based on a timer or based on some predetermined if this then that type logic in a sim environment. You're going to actually have to get an opposing buyer or seller to fill those contracts. But, you know, at our size, when we're trading between 1 to 20 contracts, It's not a huge deal, getting filled in a live environment. I have not really noticed too much difference, to be honest, in the fill in a sim in a live environment. So I think that's way overblown from people on Twitter and YouTube when they're like, "Yeah, live fills are a different ball game." It's not that much different. No slippage, Minu. No slippage. No, because I use limit orders, right? So I'm not really facing slippage anyway. As long as you limit order into the market, you're going to be all right with futures. If you're market ordering, yes, you might get slipped. And also you got your spread to pay, and that spread could just randomly widen a couple of ticks. If volatility, kicks up in a specific second when you enter. So that's why I always advocate using limit orders over market orders wherever possible, because then you don't pay that spread. You are dodging slippage, and it's another way to improve your edge. Thanks, Martin. Yeah, man. Looking forward to it. This is not my new house, by the way, but this is an apartment here in Brisbane, hotel apartment. I am just setting up Australian bank accounts, tax numbers, business and business registration, finding an accountant, all the fun stuff to do with moving countries. So I'm here on my own at the moment. No Wi-Fi, just Cami Capital, solo, in a hotel room on the Gold Coast. Not a bad spot. But yep, moving in very, very soon to my new abode here in Australia, and it will be sayonara New Zealand. I don't plan to ever go back to New Zealand. I love Australia. I was joking to my wife, say, you know what? My wife she's Kiwi blood, New Zealand blood, but she's basically Australian. She grew up here. I always tell her, you know what? After spending time in Australia, I renounce my Kiwi citizenship. I'm no longer a New Zealander. The moment I stood into Australia here and spent some time here, I said, you know what? I'm just Australian now. I'm no longer Kiwi, no longer a New Zealander. Screw my roots. I love Australia. I'm going to fly Australian flags, celebrate Australia Day, start talking like an Australian, all that stuff. I love it. I absolutely love it. I revoke my New Zealand passport. Do I only live from trading? No, I don't only live for trading. I do make a full-time income from trading. I make over 6 figures from trading income alone, but I make 7 figures total from my YouTube, my business as an influencer, and also I have another digital business as well, which I shall not confirm or deny or speak about any further. We'll leave it all to ambiguous imagination. So yeah, I do make a good income from trading, but I will never pretend I'm only a trader. But I do trade for real, and I do pay my bills with trading, but I make a lot of money from a bunch of things, and being a trading influencer does pay very well. And it's something I'll never deny, ever deny. We just say, no one's going to sit here on YouTube and trade and make videos and whatnot out of the good of their heart. Obviously part of that could be the good of your heart, but it obviously pays well as well, But yes, never pretend. I don't have beef with. Obviously, I'm one of them. I don't have beef with people making money as a trading influencer. The problem comes when people pretend that that all the high-flying lifestyle comes from just trading. Of course, it can come from trading. And, there's certainly been months that have been outperformed my earnings from my other businesses, this year especially. What are we now, November? probably about 4 months out of the year, my trading income has exceeded my other businesses combined and my business as an influencer. Um, so it's really cool when that happens because I make a lot from my other businesses. So it's cool to see that happening as well. But yeah, the beef comes when people pretend, like you got your, I don't know the guy, but just as an example, Lambo Real types, and they pretend like all of this from trading is 6-figure days on bloody MT4 brokers and whatnot. Possible? Yes, sure. Is it likely that's how he funds his lifestyle? No, of course not. You get paid a lot for being an influencer. Sponsorships, affiliate deals, all that stuff. Is there a community Discord for those who bought the course? Not Discord, but a school group. It's at the end of the course. If you go to the last module, there's a link to join. It's an additional small fee, but it's an add-on and available only to course members. Graham, what's up, mate? Nice to see you. Why Australia, not New Zealand? Stu, New Zealand is beautiful, right? That's my home country. New Zealand's beautiful. New Zealand is, how do I say without trashing my own country too much? New Zealand has a very small pond mentality. There's not a lot going on in New Zealand. As a whole, New Zealanders are not very ambitious and also scrutinize those who are ambitious and those who are trying to strive for more material wealth and like to show a little bit of. I'm not a very showy person, but if I get some hateful stare downs just driving my Porsche around. Then Porsche's not like a super high end car, but where I lived in New Zealand, you'll have people going, freaking wanker, just try. It doesn't bother me too much, but it's just a general attitude of hate towards people who have any sort of wealth, who have worked hard for it. So it's just a general culture of not being supportive of people trying to strive for more. And there's just also not a lot to do in New Zealand for the most part. Our main city, Auckland, is a pretty boring city. Anyone who's been to New Zealand, it's beautiful, but there's not a lot to do. So I just wanted to move to somewhere where there's more going on. There's a bigger economy. Wealth and achievement is more celebrated, more embraced. And just a change of scenery, somewhere bigger, moving to a bigger pond. New Zealand's a very small pond. Easy to feel like you're becoming a bigger fish in a place like New Zealand, but then you come to a place like here in Brisbane and you immediately feel like a small fish. There's so many people that are, have wealth here, and it's just more motivating to be around that, to strive towards more, where you can see a lot of it around you and people who are more further ahead than you. Not that it's something you should always compete for, but just seeing the way people build their lives and how far they can build them is really nice, as opposed to New Zealand, where it's very rare to come across anything like that. My auntie's one of those wood choppers. You know all about it, eh, Jamie? Yeah, it's just a typical New Zealand culture. There's obviously, it's cool seeing a lot of Gen Z. A lot of these new kids coming up are really motivated and entrepreneurial minded and more embracing of wanting to achieve and strive for more instead of just being, keep your head down, work hard, be humble. So it's cool to see that in the new generation. So it might change one day. It might change. Why Brisbane, not Adelaide? Billy, we were going to go to Adelaide because that's where my wife's really from, right? But we came to Brisbane and I was sold immediately. And yeah, the wife came around to it in a couple of days. She goes, you know what? Brisbane's where it's at. I said, yep, same thing. So here we go. Yes, Rivor, those are two trades I took earlier in the session today. Correct. What's up, Andre? NZ is nice, but you feel like you're surrounded by money, and Oz a different feeling. Yes. And that's a similar thing to what I noticed in Japan as well. I went to Japan a lot this year for the first time, and there's something really nice about feeling small and like you don't matter and like you're just invisible. Whereas in New Zealand, it's very easy to quickly stand out, especially in like if you're from where I'm from. It's a pretty small town. It's easy to stand out, and I don't like that feeling of standing out. I like to just blend in, but also be able to have nice things and blend in. And in Australia, there's so much wealth here, at least in this state, a lot of wealth to where my bloody Porsche or Mustang or my whatever, that's the only material things I really like to show off, quote unquote. They're just invisible here. It doesn't matter. It's Porsche's a cheap luxury car, relatively speaking. Mustang even more so. So you can get away with that stuff and not really be noticed, which is nice. Oh, Max. Yes, Max. Have you sent me your email? Let me just check. Cool. Thanks, Max. Yeah, for the TPT winners, I have to forward your email through to TPT, and then they will assign your credit for the free account. So I've got that now, Max. I will send that through, and Neri, Max and Neri were the two winners most recently. Yes, wait 24 to 48 hours, and then that gets applied automatically. Nice, Andre. No worries, man. All right. Waiting on the open here. In terms of price, we now have that POC has shifted down some more, but now we are holding above. So if you develop volume, if you develop POC and it has moved down, but then price manages to hold above POC, then you can be looking at a flip in sentiment. So let's watch this coming closer to the open if we can hold above that POC. If we can hold above POC and going into the open, what I'd like to see is a breakthrough above here, pull back and retest this high volume node, break and retest, reinforce level. If we hold above POC, if we don't hold above POC and we break, I'll be looking for because this will become the overnight value low. If we break below, be looking for that same type of thing, but break through, pull back, retest, sell, and target down towards PDPOC. So that's what I'll be looking at on the open. So it's all about where the price holds relative to POC, relative to this overnight POC. Where do you pull overnight trading hours? Krabby Wizard, you pull them from 6 p.m. through to 9:29 a.m. Aussie more expensive? Not really, Stu. Compared to New Zealand, way, way easier to buy a house here in Australia and rent. You get a lot more for your money here in Australia compared to New Zealand. It's still expensive, but compared to New Zealand, very cheap. Put it this way, the place I'm moving into, I'm not buying a house immediately, I'm renting here first so I can avoid the foreign investment tax. So renting here first, but put it this way, the house I'm renting here in Australia that I'll be moving into in a couple of weeks, the equivalent of that house would be anywhere from $8,000 to $10,000 per week in New Zealand for a similar house. Ridiculous. And I'm paying only a very small fraction of that over here. So it's really ridiculous in New Zealand. Obviously, that's the upper end of the market in New Zealand, but just to put it in perspective for how far your money goes. I know, I'm already in with the tax system here, CD. Be paying 6% more tax, but money goes a bit further. And meeting with an accountant tomorrow, so it should work out to be roughly the same. But then with the money going further, it's a decent spot to be. Why is NZ so expensive? I don't know, Nordic. I don't know why it's so expensive. New Zealand's not like a Switzerland or anything where you could justify the higher pricing and the higher taxes and all that. I don't know. NZ's just notoriously a high cost of living place to be. Yeah, Jamie. Yeah, I'm talking Remuera or even Takapuna, Jamie. There's one. So there's a house in Takapuna, which is for rent for $8,000 per week, and it's probably the equivalent to what I'm getting here in Brisbane, but I'm paying not even. I'm paying less than 25% of that over here. Do I use Bookmap every session for added confluence? Not normally, Andre. It can be a good added confluence, but for example, now I'm trading off my laptop and I have no other tools open. I've got the DOM and the time and sales, but no Bookmap. Andre, inside the school community, I'm working on some content on Bookmap and how to use it for confluence or to help support trades, but it's not really crucial. But one way you can use it is to look at stacked. So say your value levels, if you have stacked orders at a particular value level, it's a definite good added confluence in that sense. So say if you have a previous week's value level, value area high, prices coming up to trading it, and then you can see on the Bookmap that, there's a big, thick concentration of liquidity around that level, then that can give you extra confidence in trading from that point. And even give you confluence in waiting for a sweep of that level before getting your entry in. So wait for price to stab through those orders, fill the orders, and then get your entry. That was it. We did that live. I think the second stream, if you look on the live trading session playlist on my channel, I think it's the second one on that playlist was exactly that. Really, really, really cool to see in real time. The government in NZ robs us. Yes, agreed. Agreed. Australia has a progressive income tax system with rates from 0 to 45, plus 2%, 10% GST. Yes, agree. New Zealand does paying 39%, also progressive income tax bracket, 39%, 15% GST. I'm not a corporation, so I didn't have to pay that, but yeah. Pretty expendo. Friend bought a 70 square meter apartment in Sydney, Bondi Beach for $1 million. That's pretty cheap, Nordic. I mean, Bondi Beach is one of the most affluent places in Sydney. So $1 million for an apartment is pretty good. Yeah, it's twisted over here. If you come down to the southern hemisphere, down under Australia and New Zealand, What you guys in America are used to is totally different for housing over here. It's very, very overblown. Yes, Zane, 2 trades deep, not on stream, but I took 2 trades earlier, looking to scope one out here on the open. We've got 15 minutes till the open. Davidus, what happens after you pass a 150K TPT test account? Does that $9,000 become withdrawable? $4,500 buffer? No. So, Davidus, basically what happens with any funded account is once you pass the account, that balance then resets to zero, and you have to do it again. So, if you pass a 150K account, your funded account will be again 150 grand. That's where it will start. But you can't withdraw anything until you make another $4,500, and anything above that $4,500 can be withdrawn, if that makes sense. Madara, how to join school if you don't have Discord. Madara, just email me. I can send you the link. Obviously, it's going to be still a charged price, but if you've been a part of, the main thing was just filtering out people who haven't taken the course from the school community. So if you've been in the Tick Jump group in the past, you've obviously taken the course. So just email me, camicapital@gmail.com, with a receipt or just showing proof of purchase and from Tick Jump, and I will send you the link to join school. Yeah, Zane, we talked about it a bit earlier. Bank holiday is okay. As long as the markets are open, there's still opportunity to trade. So I don't avoid bank holidays personally. But yeah, man, 2 solid trades so far today. Yes, Nonzo, yes. Absolutely. It's in the last module of the course. If you go right to the last module, in the description of that last module is a link to join the school community. Oh, yeah, UK is the same, Chop Cheese, absolutely. So I've heard and so I've seen. Yeah. Bit of a pump here, pushing up towards previous day's value high. Let's see, we're still 13 minutes away from the open. But we've now pushed above that developing point of control. So potentially, if we can push out this value high again and keep going up, maybe a little change, flip in sentiment. Let's see. Spartanik, what's up, man? When do you determine to call it quits on losses? Spartanik, I go for 2 losses in a row. If I lose 2 trades in a row, I will call it quits on that particular account. I do cycle my prop firm accounts. So, say with the TPT accounts, right, if I've got 4 active funded accounts, I will trade them through. And if I take 2 losses in a row on one account, I move on to the next. And then calling it quits for wins, I take 1 winner. Generally take 1 winner, unless I'm really pushing hard. I have been doing that with TPT lately because, it's been going. I've been on a hot streak with TPT, so pushing them hard. UK is better because you get crazy house prices with the added privilege of grey skies and constant rain. Beautiful. UK futures traders, speaking of, good evening, sir. Zane took your advice on getting the reps in to get rid of my analysis paralysis. Forgot I changed my account. It's Dan. Oh, Dan, what's up, Dan? Going really well, taking high quality trades and done in one trade. Yes, good. Glad to hear. That's cool, Andre. I'm glad. Yeah, a lot of people who subscribe to this channel subscribed for the ICT content originally. So it's cool to see people kind of resonating with that, and wanting to make a shift into something a bit more factual and professional. So that's cool. I'm glad to hear. 2 for me, and I hit the single malt. Yes, sir. Flash Golden, do I still trade Apex? Yes, absolutely. I still trade Apex. TPT is my number one for sure. Apex is Apex. I'm working on a home run play right now. Very slowly building my buffers in Apex, and I want to take out 5K times 20 accounts. Copy traded. I haven't put in too much work on them lately, but it's still something I'm slowly cracking away at. This would be a nice little bragging rights thing to do. Trader Joe, no, you want to pull it from 9:30 through to 3:59. That's when the volume drops out. Cammy, why don't you stay in the market making lane, Gary Norton, and move to volume? Sam, good question. I do still take a lot of principles that Gary Norton taught, but when I came across volume profile, that resonated with me more. So I use a lot of principles from Gary Norton still. But in terms of my strategy moving from market making to volume profile, I felt there was more edge in volume profile than Gary's market making style. It is certainly an interesting way of trading. Very interesting way of trading, and definitely profitable way of trading. It's very intensive, and you got to be locked in, and you have to make sure you're with a broker that has, good deals on fees and commissions, because that will absolutely eat you alive with that style of trading. So I feel there's a smaller edge in that than trading slightly more positional, but using volume and order flow as an edge versus anything candlestick related. This is the level I'm watching. If we can break through this level, previous day's value area high, this will be where I'm watching going into the open, maybe even before the open. This. And the clue for this breaking away and reversing was seeing that point of control fair value develop at the low here, but then price consolidate and break back above was the key to think, okay, maybe there might be a breakout and reverse back to the upside. So we could potentially see that happening here shortly. 84525, 84525. Yeah, let's see. It's going to be obviously a bit of a lower volume day today with the bank holiday. But again, markets are still open, so we still have opportunity, but just got to take that for what you will. Coming into the open here shortly. The 6 minutes. See how we're looking for range. Pretty small ranges today too. Pretty small. See. Wait to see what the New York Open puts in here. Their point of control shifted. Previous day's value high. So this will be, if this is where the POC gets put in, that'll be a stacked level. So that'll be a better confluence once the open happens. Let's see which side of that it's on. If we open up above previous day value high and what will be overnight POC, I will look for a buy. If we open up below, I'll look for a retest and a sell. And again, the ranges are pretty small here. We're not really moving very far. I mean, look at that move here from that previous sell I outlined earlier. You know, at best, you're looking at 9.2 points. So, pretty small ranges. Nolan, draw it. Make sure you're drawing their profile from 9:30 to 3:59. 9:30 to 3:59. So not 4 p.m. There are some days where it's going to be quite a big difference depending on that closing volume. Four minutes to go here. Again, if that stays and remains as overnight point of control, then that's a nice stacked level to have a look at right off the open. I'd be very much enjoying that level off the open. If we can leave that as current point of control, it's going to be a nice one. Not financial advice. Do your own research. Thrill Chaser, what's up, man? Oh, yeah. If you're using micros, your levels are going to be not totally different, but they can be quite different depending on the day. Micros are different participants, different trades executed. Although it's a similar product, it's got a whole different set of players. So your volume, your transactions, your POCs, your value highs and lows are going to be different. Okay, just outline the plays I'm looking at here for the open. Again, as if we open up below these two levels, if we can trade back up to this point here, I'll look for a retest sell. If we trade down to the value low of this developing profile, I won't be looking for a buy, but I will be looking for a breakthrough of that and then sell on the other side down towards PDPOC. And then if we do break through the above, I'll look for a retest on the other side as well. So a few trade ideas here, a few good potential moves on the cards. We have 1 minute and 15 seconds. Oh, the camera's gone? Shit. Hold on. Still here. Hold on. Incoming with the face cam. All right, time to lock in, boys and girls. The open is incoming. So now it is time to close off this profile. Have that just drawn to 929. And then there's the overnight level. So I have 15 seconds to put these on. 1 second. Overnight value highs here. Overnight point of control is here. Overnight value low is here. And let's go. Let's go. Let's get the open. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, strong push on the open here, first of all. Strong push. Cool. If we can confidently break above this, I'll look for a pullback and retest these two kind of stacked levels here within this zone. So that's across 845 to 843.50. Going to kind of stagger into this one. Couple of contracts at 845.25, and if it digs in a bit lower, add some in at 844.
Order filled.
Cool, couple in at 845. Just outline that on the chart. I'm filled at 845. Maybe look at overnight value high for a potential target, which is 852.25. Trying to get in here, a total of 6 contracts. Decent amount of volume for a bank holiday, not going to lie. I thought it was going to be a lot slower. Pretty good. And make sure we got that developing profile there too. Not using the developing profile for any confluence until the first 30-minute opening range is put in, but have that on there just to start building out. Still got I want to get in a total of 6 on this position. Got filled for 2. Got 1 tick tickled on my other 2 contracts sitting there. But not chasing price just yet. You want to see, make sure there's a follow through. Here we are. Let's see. There we are. Filled on another 4. And then I'm trying to fill down to about 843. Yeah.
Order filled.
Cool. Stop loss 7 points. Going for a 1-to-1. Stop looking around 838.25. Cool. Take profit sitting up at 852.25. So average position entry 844.25 is my average entry, 844.25. So hoping to see, we got two levels here. We made a pretty strong breakthrough above overnight point of control and above previous day value high. Those levels are pretty stacked together, so I built in that position across these two levels, adding two at a time till I got my full position in. Average my position around the middle of those two levels, nice little zone. And because we broke above those areas, looking for those areas to act as support. So as long as the overnight point of control holds, should be pretty decent runnings to watch that run up towards the overnight value high up here. Overnight value high is sitting at 852.25. Once we get up to 850, if we can push 850, I'll pull my stop to break even, maybe even take some contracts off. But let's see if we can push 850 first. We're getting pretty close. As soon as we approach that 850, I'll pull the stop to break even. Just watching to see that overnight point of control hold as support. If overnight point of control holds, then this trade should be good. If it breaks to the downside through overnight point of control, then obviously invalidates the trade idea. So my stop loss is sitting down at the value area low of the overnight. So far holding, having little jumps from the overnight point of control, so far holding. But want to see if those buyers can push through previous day value high and hold us above. And a nice target, really nice logical target, is OVAH. So again, if there is strength enough to push 850, that's where my stop comes to break even. And I potentially, if it gets stuck around there, I'll start to take off some contracts. Only once we tap up around the 850 area. Teased it the first time. Let's see if we get that momentum again. Back at overnight point of control. As long as that overnight point of control keeps holding, trade looks good. Man, really decent volume for a bank holiday. Really surprised. $12.42 in the morning here in Australia. Hopefully this trade doesn't keep me waiting too long. If you can't tell by the lack of energy, I'm kind of drifting off to sleep here. So let's get it. Do I play any games in my free time? Mora, I haven't been playing anything recently. I was a huge gamer in the past, but I've not really been able to get into anything recently. I do like the look of Arc Raiders, though. That's looking pretty cool. I watch old Dr. Disrespect playing Arc Raiders every now and then while I'm eating my breakfast. Looks pretty cool. I would definitely play that. I don't know if it's on PS5, though. I'm not a PC gamer. Yeah, a little dip below the overnight point of control here. Just a little dip below. See if buyers can take it back above. Still another, 17 minutes to go into that opening range is put in. So no confluences off the current developing profile yet. What we do know, though, is that the market likes these levels, which is good. It means, obviously confirms they're important levels to look at. But let's get one side take control here. Battlefield 6. Yeah, Leonardo, Battlefield 6 looks really good. I played the open beta and I was really bad at it. I used to be great at Battlefield, but I have not played in years because all the new Battlefields have been really shit. But yeah, the new Battlefield is real smooth, real nice. Damon, what's up, Damon? Guys, by the way, make sure you get the likes up to 200. I'm still giving away Take Profit Trader accounts. So 200 likes, and every day we'll give something away. Every day. Every single day. Of course, after this trade. So once this trade closes out, giveaway time. Only if there's 200 likes. Only. I'm not cheap. I need a 200 thumbs. Yes, Leonardo, the squad with the boys. Yes. I know. Nothing like squatting with the boys. Man, some of my best memories are digital memories with the boys playing, funny enough, Fortnite, 2018 primetime Fortnite. I mean, me and the boys would stay up till 3, 4 in the morning, battle royale, voice chat, losing every single game but having a bloody great time. Honestly, those memories are better than some of the physical memories we had. Yeah, Fortnite. Hey, Louis, yeah, that's right. Remember we were going to do that Christmas special stream. You know, I should probably do it this year. That'll be cool. A little gaming stream for Christmas. What happened last Christmas? I think I was moving house last Christmas as well. Come on, send me to bed. Let's go. Pump this trade. Let's go. Waiting on the 850 level. If 850 hits, I'm pulling to break even. So here's the next tease of 850. Let's see if it can pump up higher this time. Let's go. It's been teasing me. Another tease. Yes, apologies about the camera. It does not like the hot weather here. Believe it or not, it is rather warm. Although I'm wearing a hoodie, it is pretty warm right now. Let me fix that. There we are. Come on, pump 850 and I'll be a very happy boy. I'll go to bed a very happy boy. You can do it. Yes, jalapeno. Switched to volume profile strat 3 weeks ago. Watch all your streams, all your videos. Just hit my profit to get a payout tonight from Funded Next Futures. That is awesome, man. Jalapeno, congrats to you, my friend. Good work. So glad to hear. I always love to hear these stories. Always glad to hear. Shit, man. Tease that 50 level again and then back to the overnight point of control. Below overnight point of control now. Real tease. A real cock tease. Another 10 minutes till the opening range is put in here. This is looking a little bit more certain where it's going right now, though. Not great when it pushes away from OPOC. Unfortunate. Here comes a stop. Unless I get one tick tickled on the stop, here it comes. I have been known to be blessed and cursed with a one tick tickle. It is not unheard of. Man, tape is going crazy down here. Absolutely crazy. Overnight value low is a good level to look at too. Stopped out on that one, boys and girls. Got a bit of a tease. Good trade setup, just a loss. No worries. No worries. Next one to watch here. Let me just switch to my next account. Next one to watch here is... One second, don't want you to dox me. There we go. Next one to watch here is that overnight value area low as well. That's a good level to watch for a scalp. So switched out from my 150K TPT and over to my 50K. This one here, I'll leave on the chart so you can see a stop out. One more trade I'll take tonight if we can get a nice decent setup in the next 5 or so minutes, and then we'll get the giveaway going. 200 likes for the giveaway. See where this thing goes next. Seeing price fail off the overnight point of control, not a great sign. We can almost use, in 7 minutes, can start using the developing profile as a confluence as well, added confluence. So that could be a little decent to watch here next. Let's see what happens down here at the overnight value low first. If we can get a small bounce. Yeah, unfortunate on that first one. Good trade setup. Decent. Came close to well, not to TP, but close to the break-even point. Unfortunately, not enough steam to keep pushing above, but very good trade setup. So not one to be mad at unless you over-leverage, over-size on that. Happy with that trade. Just an unfortunate failure from the buyers on the upside, unfortunately. Six minutes to go, and then we can start looking at this developing profile. If we do get a retest back up to these levels, that's also a decent... Oh, here we go, just as I said it. Decent looking play.
Order filled.
There we are. 50K account play here. Less contracts, 3 contracts. Playing the underside of this. I'm filled at 84325. And I'm going for 3 points on this one. It's only my 50K, so I'm taking small plays. 840.25 is my target. Nice little scalp. And there we go. Nice scalp. Order filled. Loss on the 150K. Quick win on the 50K. That was just a clean little, we call that almost an A rank scalp, that one right there. So that's cool. I'm pretty happy with that. Both good trade setups. Both really good trade setups. Let me pull this across so people don't think that, oh no, you're stopped out again, bro. No, that was a, what, 30-second trade. Just getting those quick initial reactions. Now look at this nice pump above these levels. I'm almost tempted to go in for another play again. Maybe cycle back to the 150K. Almost tempted. Nice play off the overnight value low. I missed that when I was busy swapping accounts. Overnight value low, nice play from there. Bang, bang. Look at this. That is a strong boner from the overnight value low. Really nice. A few minutes and then this developing profile will be at play as well. Let me just, oh, my cam's gone, huh? The cam's gone. Let me get that camera back on for you naughty, naughty boys and girls. Cool. Let me just switch over to the other, back to the other one. There's down 1 hour on the 150K, up 1 hour on the 50K. No, wrong one. Hold on. Still on my bracket. Don't want that there. Lucky. Oh yeah, that was the 150K. Lucky, lucky, lucky. My old take profit was still sitting there. Lucky. Okay, there we are. Okay, back on the 150K, I'm going to play a little C rank play off the overnight value high. 150K has one more squeeze in it. Let's go. Either fade the overnight value high, or I'll be looking for a retest. Now that we're at 10, looking for a retest closer to those stacked levels from the start of the session. If it's a retest, I go in with my A rank risk. Eight four seven. Come on, fill me, man. Let's get filled. I'm sitting here at 847.
Order filled.
Yes, order filled, 847. And targeting same setup as before, but that's off the high volume node, plus those two levels in proximity, and looking for a bounce up to overnight value high. 85250 is the target. Cool, last play on the 150K here. So again, this is high volume node developed above stacked levels, entering on the edge of that high volume node and the edge of value, and seeing if we get a continuation play moving up towards overnight value high. Let's go. Last one. Take profits up at 85225. And I'll pull stop to break even at 851 if it can push 851. Hopefully they don't get teased again. And stop goes to break even. There's that test of the current point of control, previous day value high. Cam's gone again. Dude, this camera does not like the heat. I gotta get one of those fake batteries for the camera so it doesn't turn off. Apparently that's the solution. There we are. Gustavo on this 150K TPT account is my biggest one. So I'm risking almost up to $4,000 per day. So I'll allow up to 1,800 in losses per trade, but only ever twice in a row. So a big one. And then on the 50Ks, I'm doing about 300 to 500 on the 50Ks, just building the balance. Frania from Oz, what's up? Good morning. Yeah, good early morning to you. It is very early morning right now. 1:05 a.m. I'm about ready to crash.
Stop filled.
Our 150K account got booty battered today. Anyways, I'll call it there for those trades there, guys. Giveaway's still about to go, but that's down 2R on the 150K, up 1R on the 50K. Unfortunate. Good setups. This one here might still be a good setup. I just entered quite high up. But yeah, it's still in a decent area. You know, the value area low of the developing profile around that same level. So it could be all right, but it's broken below the developing point of control. So yeah, could just be unlucky on that. So yeah, good scalp on the 50K. That was a nice quick win. And then the first trade on the 150K was really good. Was a nice setup. Unfortunately, just didn't follow through all the way. And then yeah, last trade here, also a decent setup. But oh, look at that melt. Yeah, just unfortunate. Can't win them all. Just playing probabilities at the end of the day. So is what it is. But no worries, no stress. Let's get these likes, 200 likes, and let's get the giveaway going. 2 more to go, just 2 more likes. And let's give it away. Let me just get the giveaway ready. At least we got some action. It's nice trade in the open, real nice trade in the open. Normally, you know pretty quick if you're right or wrong, but today, obviously, bank holiday, so a little bit slower, but 3 trades in one stream is not too bad in terms of action. Let me just go. Cool. All right. Giveaway time, boys and girls. Let's get it going before I hit the sack. I'm tired as balls. It's 1:07 in the morning here in Australia. Ended up streaming a little longer than I thought, which is not too bad. Had a good time. Had a good time. Here we go. All right. We're at 200 likes. Incoming. Boom. What you need to do to enter the giveaway, there's a post pinned linked in the chat right now. Click that post, vote on that post, like the post, and then in the comments, just say TPT or Apex. TPT or Apex. I'm giving away both TPT and Apex today. So depending on which one you choose, you put that in the comments and I'll choose a random winner. So go ahead and click that. I'm going to give you 1 minute to enter that giveaway. And then it is time to select and call it a night. So 1 minute timer is starting right now. Boom. Go. Go, 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 go. Not in the live chat, on the post. On the post. Every time. Every bloody time. Yeah, back to the trade. So, again, let's go through and recap. Down 2R on the 150K take profit trader funded account. Up 1R on the 50K. With 50K was a nice quick win. If we take the profile back, excuse me. if we take the profile back to the trades, first one here was taken. We had pumped up above overnight point of control and previous day value high. Pumped up above right in the open. So entry was made within those two zones there. Built in 6 contracts and came up. I was targeting overnight value high. If I had targeted my usual 1-to-1, it would have hit take profit, but I wanted to take a more positional trade tonight, just how I felt with it tonight. Unfortunately, it did not play out. That came back through and broke down. There was a nice play off the overnight value low. Unfortunately, I was busy fumbling around switching accounts, so I didn't get in on that particular trade, but nice overnight value low all the way through to overnight value high play there. My trade on the 50K account, however, was a nice C rank, so single confluence. Sorry, not C rank. Actually, that's almost an A rank, actually. We had, at the time of this one, if we pull that across, time of this scalp, almost close to 10 a.m. So almost an A rank, actually, but that was your 2 stacked levels in close proximity, the edge of this volume node here, which hadn't quite closed the opening range, but it was pretty clear to see that's where the volume was. For a quick reaction, weren't looking for anything directional. Obviously, a strong move off the value area low. So a quick 3-point scalp. That was in and out within 30 seconds. Nice win on the 50K. Then one more attempt on the 150K account. Broke above these 2 stacked levels and above this high volume node. I got in long here. Got a nice initial reaction on that candle. Again, 3 points. But I was targeting positional targets. Did not pay me good tonight doing positionals versus doing my 1-to-1. So yeah, that ended up obviously breaking down. Nice initial reaction, but sellers took control, obviously coming down off that overnight value high. So all in all, good trading session. I'm not mad at it. 3 good trading setups. Just happened to be 2 were losers tonight, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen. We never know what's going to happen. All we can do is make our best educated guess, best educated bets based on data and transactions. Just let that edge play out. Always say, don't focus on the loss that's in front of you. Don't focus on the trade that's in front of you. Just zoom out and look at your next 100 trades and see how you're sitting. So I don't stress the losses like this anymore. All part of the game. Just got to see them through. It is annoying. It is frustrating, but it is what it is. Tomorrow's another day. Tomorrow's another most likely green day. So that's it. I'm going to go select some winners now, guys. So giving away both Apex and TPT, I've got to be more conservative with my giveaways because they tell me my allocation was for the month. I gave away my entire month's allocation in a week last time. So we're going to be a little more conservative now. So I'm going to select a random winner right now. Boom. Nolan Robbins 2243. I've just hearted your comment. You've won the Take Profit Trader giveaway, my friends. You've selected the Take Profit Trader account. All you need to do is either message me on Instagram. I've just put the Instagram in the chat right here. All right. Instagram in the chat right here. DM me there and we'll sort the giveaway. Or you can email me at camicapital@gmail.com and just send me a screenshot of your YouTube account so that I know it's you. Nolan Robbins 2243. I've just hearted your comment on the post. Congrats, man. We'll sort that TPT account for you. So cool. There we go. Nice one, boys and girls. Thank you for tuning in tonight. It was an up and down session. Again, good trading setups, but unfortunate outcome tonight. But you're here for the wins and losses. I don't hide anything from you guys, so I hope you enjoyed nonetheless. If you want to get funded with TPT or Apex, code CAMCAP will give you the best discount. And if you want to learn volume profile trading, the link pinned in the chat will take you through to the volume profile course there. It's a one-off fee, reasonable price for good value. And I've also posted the link in the chat again. So check that one out if you're interested in volume profile trading. It goes from A to Z, how to read volume profile, the reasoning behind volume profile, how to find trade setups with volume profile. And I'm adding some new content to the course today. Well, it'll be tomorrow now because it's 1 a.m. in Australia, but tomorrow for me, end of the day for you guys. So go ahead and check that out. Otherwise, I'll see you guys again, same